All life forms must exhibit growth. Without growth, a life form is dead. Whether that life form is your personal life, your career, your business, your brand, your product, your vocation, your value propositions. In all our existence, we must be constantly preoccupied with the thoughts of growth. At this point in my life, what growth aspects ought I to demonstrate? At this point in my career, what growth aspects ought I to demonstrate? At this point in my vocation with my relationships, what aspects of growth ought I to demonstrate? There is something interesting that happens when a woman conceives and that woman pays her doctor a visit. That woman is placed under regular mandatory checks to ensure that that pregnancy meets the expected milestones that a pregnancy must meet. Immediately the baby is born, that baby similarly is placed under regular mandatory 2-year checks to ensure that in its infancy, that baby meets the milestones that they are to meet in that infancy. Which begs the question, as an entrepreneur, what are the milestones that you've set for yourself that you must meet? As someone in vocation, what are the milestones that you've set for yourself that you must meet? As someone in career, as someone with your brand, your products, are there milestones that you are supposed to meet? Without milestones, growth cannot be accounted for. Growth is not accidental. Growth is intentional. Growth is deliberate. And growth is personal. At this juncture, it is important for us to ask ourselves, then how do we define growth? In my experience, I have observed that when an individual cannot define a thing, chances are we don't understand that thing. So this is the definition of growth. Growth is the capacity in an individual to determine productivity. That capacity is inherent in all of us. That capacity is in your product, in your service, in your career, in your vocation, in your value propositions. Intellectual property gives us 2 dimensions of growth. There is vertical growth, then there is horizontal growth. In your life, you must mimic the traits of vertical growth. In your life, similarly, you must mimic traits of horizontal growth. In your career, in your business, in your vocation, you must exhibit vertical growth elements and horizontal growth elements. Intellectual property further gives us 4 important elements that will help us to determine if we have met those milestones. The first one is every idea has its own life form. A life form will inform what are those milestones that you must meet in your career, in your business, in your vocation, with your relationship. The other one is the life cycles of an idea. It is very important for us to understand that life comes to us in cycles. Similarly, in business, every business must have its own life cycle. Every product, every brand, every career must have its own life cycles. The other one is the life pattern of an idea. It is important for us to understand that every idea has its own life pattern. And the life pattern will determine in the vertical growth projections what are the milestones that are associated with your vertical growth. In your horizontal growth in career, in your horizontal growth in business, the life patterns of your idea will determine what are the milestones you must meet in your horizontal growth. The last one is every idea has its own lifespan. Like all forms of life, there is that element of transition. Life in itself is perpetual, but life must be transited. Similarly, in business, we must have that awareness. At what point do I need to transit this product? At what point do I need to transit my brand? That is very important, and that milestone is determined by what we call the lifespan of an idea. Hi, my name is Ogwang, Omuga Ogwang. I am the principal at Franchise and Licensing Institute. We are the premier intellectual property advisory, consulting, research, valuation, and training firm. I want to invite you for a webinar that we have put together for the 3rd of February. 4 ways to grow your business or career in 2024 with intellectual property. If there is a resource that is conspicuously lacking at the African marketplace, it happens to be intellectual property. Most of us think that intellectual property is only concerned with protecting an idea. There is much more to intellectual property than merely protecting an idea. There is much more to intellectual property than merely protecting innovation. Intellectual property is designed to help you open up market spaces, market avenues, when you are informed by the unique elements in what you have created. Perhaps at this point, it is important that I define for us what is intellectual property. Intellectual property is anything that the human mind can create that individual can commercialize. On the 3rd of February, I want to show you 4 simple ways that you can use your intellectual property to meet your business growth goals in 2024. 4 simple ways you can use intellectual property to meet your career growth goals for 2024. There is a link below this video on how you can secure a slot. This webinar is absolutely free, and I want to see you on the 3rd of February. My name is Ogwang, and I'm looking forward to interacting with you on the 3rd of February. Until then, God bless, bye-bye, and Happy New Year.